SchmoCast.
Very nice. Very nice, Elijah.
Do you always have to compliment the intro?
Yes. Are we not supposed to be supportive here? Ben?
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
We're supposed to be supportive of our...
Ben,
I
just-
mean, it might have been nice. I don't think it was very nice.
Ben's just jelly.
What's your critique? Let's hear your critique,
Yeah, let's
Ben.
hear it, Ben.
He's thinking.
He just said
You see-
SchmoCast. Okay, you know.
Okay, you did the same thing, though. You went SchmoCast.
Yeah, that's
SchmoCast.
because it was cool. It was fun.
Oh, yeah?
Just the voice itself was better.
Oh, I see.
well,
I see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's
Josh,
over here.
okay, let's Josh, hold on. Josh hasn't talked yet. He's just been sitting here smiling. Josh, what do you think? Who is better? Putting you on the spot.
Oh golly. Okay.
Who's better?
So I definitely think mine was the best.
That's fair.
Okay, he's biased. I forgot he did one too. Hey everybody, welcome back to the SchmoCast. That's enough of this argument here. We're back. It's been a while. The last one I think we recorded at the beginning of January, and now it's the beginning of February. So we've been pretty busy.
Allegedly.
So that's
Well,
we've
maybe
been
not
pretty
you,
busy.
but the rest of us have.
But yeah. So this is the fourth episode, right? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
it's
fourth.
episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, and we're gonna get back into it.
Episode 4. Gonna make some more.
Bars.
Elijah's he's determined to make a rap career out of Schmo.
Listen, I basically already have, I think.
Yeah.
So.
With your new hit single.
If you've seen,
We're getting that on
Schmo
we're getting
rap.
that on vinyl. We're getting that on.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a
Listen.
press.
Listen, big things I got planned. Big things in the future.
Yeah. Well, we'll see those big things come to fruition eventually. But
Ah.
right now, in this moment, it's time for another SchmoCast. We're really out of practice here, so
it has been a while.
we're gonna see how it goes. We got some topics lined up for you today, not including story time this time though, because nothing interesting happened. Because we've all been busy, and we kind of established that talking in the beginning. We're like, all right, story time. Do we have any stories? And it's dead silence. That's it. So
That's our story
that's
for
our
the day.
story
Yep.
for the day.
That's
the story.
There you go. Actually, we did have a story. So
That we
there
don't
you
have
go.
a story.
That
We're
we
gonna
don't have a story.
We're gonna try and keep it on a more regular schedule here.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And we've been getting some positive feedback. Nice hearing back from you guys.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow us on iTunes
Yeah.
and the other one,
Yeah.
Spotify.
That's it.
Right?
Spotify.
Yeah.
iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at the moment at SchmoCentral.
Yep.
So check us out there. We already plugged our stuff, but we're going to plug it again because we want
Yep.
people to check us out. If you're listening on any of those platforms, so, we got
Tell-
other stuff too.
Tell all your
But
loved
enough
ones.
self-promotion.
No, tell all your loved ones about us. Tell all your worst enemies about us. Just tell everyone. And yeah, that's all I have.
But I
we
mean, that's only if you want to. Like, if you don't want to subscribe, that's all you, man.
That's all. That's
You know,
your
we
loss.
don't control you.
Why are we talking about? All right, let's actually get into real topics. Let's
All
stop
right,
just
sorry,
selling
sorry about
minutes
that.
later. People like 3 minutes into the episode. Also, speaking of time, nice segue, right?
Oh,
Guys,
speaking of
give me a high
time.
five. Josh,
Yeah.
give me a high five. Thank you. All right, so that was obnoxious, but we're going to start shortening up the episodes. So we figured out that the last 45-minute episode was much better than any of the ones beforehand because we were able to keep it within a palatable time frame where people don't necessarily lose full interest, and we also don't run out of steam as quick. Because with the hour and 30-minute episode, the second episode, we just... Yeah, Josh is telling me to hurry up.
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's get into conversation
into it.
here, guys. What do we want to talk about today? Josh, you had something you wanted to talk about if we want to start off with that.
All right, I guess we're going to start out with the deep stuff. So,
Deep.
so in my sociology class today, we were creating fake societies to just kind of see what would it be like if you tried to mix together two completely different societies. And in the process of doing this, one person had suggested the idea when we were listing folkways and mores, and one person thought that cannibalism should be made legal. Their argument was, for example, prisoners on death row, they should, when they are executed, serve them to the other prisoners because it gets rid of the body, all right? And it's
Yummy.
free food for the other prisoners that doesn't have to be paid for. This is their argument. This is not mine. I'm
Let's
just
discuss.
Well,
No.
what is? Well, first of all, what
They-
is your argument, Joshua? What is your stance?
I
on
really
this?
don't know.
They
'cause,
did
like,
that on Wall-E.
I feel
Fun
like
fact.
They
there's-
did that on Wall. Remember the part where they like kill all the fat people in the floating chairs?
Yeah.
And that's actually what they.
Why do you think all their food was liquid?
what?
Oh
Mm.
dang!
Ooh.
Pixar conspiracy
Oh,
theories.
bruh. I haven't seen Wall-E in years. All I remember is that it was a terrible movie.
Yeah, Wall-E was
Oh,
boring.
what?
That
Come
was a
on.
I don't
boring
remember
movie.
anything about it other than that dumb robot.
Yeah, and the
The
fact
Wall-E,
that
what?
and
Yeah.
the fact that
I
it
mean,
was
I guess
a-
they were fat people.
I don't know. The love story there
Yikes.
between Wally and Eva was pretty good.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It was a pretty.
It's goals right there.
It was a good. It was a good way to discuss the controversial topic of cannibalism as well. Apparently. So,
Yes.
Yeah, Wall-E
don't
is
know.
all about cannibalism. You heard it here first.
Yikes.
Honestly, I don't know, because
What?
it's kind of a weird. What do you mean? What,
I
wait,
mean,
wait,
it could
don't
go.
know.
It could go either
It's
way,
not-
really. If you want to eat some people,
I feel like-
well, if you're not going out, I don't think that I personally would go. I want to try. I want to see what people taste like. No, that's not me
Kinda like
personally.
veal.
But like,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. I've heard of that.
but like, no, I don't know. If you, as long as you're not going out like killing people.
no. Listen, it's less.
I
It's,
mean, yeah, it's a normal thing in like other cultures, though. Like
Yeah.
there are some cultures that it's a normal thing.
Well, yeah. It's less of a practical issue and more of an ethical issue. Okay.
Yeah.
The respecting the dead or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, like, what if? Okay, so there's like this one case that I know of actually. It was like this guy in Germany. He basically put out like this message on like a cannibalism message board or something, which apparently exists, and I don't want to go there,
That's
but
weird.
apparently he did that to have a volunteer come so he could eat him, and some guy actually did it. Like some guy actually was like, "I'll be your volunteer," and then like there's like the guy got arrested because they found like the tapes of him, like they recorded him basically preparing this person to be eaten. There's a lot more convoluted and a bit more
What?
disgusting.
That's
I'm not going to
really
go into
messed
the
up.
gritty details, but that's like, I mean, if that's your, that's your thing,
Yo, isn't that
I
kind of what
mean,
you were talking about
whatever,
earlier,
man.
though,
If you
Josh,
want to
when
be
you said the
eaten by
veal?
somebody else, that's you. That's not me. I wouldn't do it. But if you and somebody else are like, hey, I want to try somebody, I want to see what a person tastes like when grilled and like seasoned, and you're like, hey, I want to help you reach that goal. That's between you. But as long as that's the
between
case,
you?
it's
That's really-
whatever.
Well, hold on. Wasn't this person saying that they thought it should be legalized? Like, you can do it if you want? Because
Well, no. Well, I don't mean like. Wait,
Like,
wait,
they're-
hold on, go ahead.
they're trying to say that they should legalize this, that it should be something permissible, but that is just not right, though. You know what I'm saying?
It isn't ethically right, but that's because we've been hardwired to be like, oh, that's wrong. But if you went to like some tribe, they'd be in like over.
No,
some-
okay. Well, guess what? In some tribe, it's okay to kill someone because they looked at your face wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Look at my face.
doesn't mean just because it's
Is
from.
that a thing?
Well, they do it somewhere else. That must mean it's okay.
Yeah.
No.
And this
Oh,
person is
okay,
only
fair
citing
enough.
the specific example of in a prison or like death penalty. Like, why are you gonna legalize this? Say anyone can do this just because you think it sounds reasonable in a jail.
Well, wait. If they were to make it legal in any way, I mean, they'd have to have like some form of like permission. They have to have like cannibal
Yeah.
waivers.
Yeah. See, that's just
You go
gonna
down to
add
the
a
Office of
whole nother.
Cannibalism and get your waiver with you and your designated meal.
That would
and you
just
can
add
go
a
and
whole
both
nother.
sign and be like, that's gonna happen.
That would add a whole other layer of things that the law
Yeah,
enforcement would have to watch out
Fair
for.
enough. They'd
I
have to be
wasn't-
like, they'd have to sit there and be like,
Yeah, literally
I'm watching.
watch every single
better
person.
Make sure.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about like specifically going out and like having a live person and being like, oh, I'm gonna kill this person and eat them. I was saying like, if the person like I don't know dies, I don't know, maybe if they're in like a car accident or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but even then, it would just be like making it legal to eat the person. Then it would just like how hard would it be to just like switch out some names or
Could
whatever?
be on your ID like if you're an organ donor, you could be your meat donor.
I'm a meat donor. It says that on your license. It says, what does that say on your
I
driver's
donate-
license? I'm a meat donor.
I donate my hamstrings.
I donate my hamstrings to the soup kitchens. They call it a Josh stew.
Well, hold on, wasn't named after me.
It's because you're the one.
Yeah,
who's
you're
like,
the one
I'm
dying.
gonna be, I don't know.
No,
I'm, just
I'm not
looking
saying
at you.
I would
I'm
do
just
this.
looking-
I would
no.
not.
I was just looking at you.
I would
Josh,
not
was like,
partake
yeah.
in any of the cannibalism.
No, I think that goes for all of us, but like,
That's just
Yeah, so that's
it's
Oh.
too convoluted of a concept now that we
Yeah,
talk
this is
about
really
more. That
weird.
it's just like whatever. That's really set. That's the tone setter for this episode as well.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
that we're going to go.
He's
away
gonna
from
talk about something more
My
light.
perspective, though, is that this is something that, like, anyone would rarely ever want to do this. Like, none of us would probably
Yeah,
ever
the
do
individual that brought it up was. This isn't something that you would consider unusual from this person.
it. Yeah, but
The person is unusual.
yeah, that's kind of what. Anyway, this is something.
goes on the internet, right?
This is something that no one, like virtually no one, would want to do this, or at least eat another person, just because you can't really wrap your mind around it.
Bet.
But
You hush.
I'm
Let
just,
them talk.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not stopping anybody. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm saying
Like,
I
like,
wouldn't
do
do
your
it.
thing.
I wouldn't advise it. But I mean, I'm not responsible for you.
You only got one life. It's eat or be eaten.
No.
You also gotta think about
no.
survival situations. If you're stranded on a desert island,
Okay, well, yes. If in
Well, that's a
survival
different
situation,
case
obviously it's gonna be different.
In a survival
see.
situation, you completely throw ethical out the window
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
you're just
you're right,
matter.
you're
It's
right.
what you're thinking about is
Yeah.
like, I want to get off this island. I want to survive. I'm gonna kill this guy over here first. You're making plans. It's like that happens in every movie.
That's the first thing I
but
plan
again,
for when
I'm
I'm
talking
surrounded.
like-
It's
You're
the
gonna
fat
kill
guy.
him?
No.
It's always the
I feel
fat
like you'd be
guy.
like,
Really?
oh, if someone
And then it's
dies of
just
like
a
heat
whatever.
exhaustion or something.
Well, then they're gonna be.
You know, like I'm not thinking like purposely killing someone. Like, oh, gotta survive, kill this dude and eat him. I was thinking just like wait for him to die of hunger, then eat him.
But then he's all scrawny. You won't get much
Yeah, you're
meat.
gonna get this like he's gonna be completely lacking nutrients because he hasn't been taking in anything.
I feel like your chances
You're
of
gonna be
survival
better
would be
finding
better
a coconut
with two.
somewhere and like just eating that instead. Find a monkey or something. And cook it over a fire.
Good luck with that.
What do you mean? Good luck with that?
Catching
At
a
least they
monkey?
eat. Yeah, sure. Throw a rock at it. Or something.
Bonk it over the head with the
Underestimate
coconut.
Knock it over the,
monkeys.
bonk it over the head with a coconut. Climb up a tree. Integrate yourself into the monkey family.
Sure,
and
spend a
then
couple
bonk it
months.
over the head with a coconut. It's the perfect plan to survive on a desert
Nothing
island.
can go wrong.
There you go.
Oh.
You heard it here first. If you're stranded on a desert island, join monkey culture.
Join the monkey culture
Bonk
and then
him over the
deceive
head.
them all by killing their leader and assuming the position. I am the monkey king. Ben's just sitting there. Ben, what do you think about the monkey thing?
He's thinking how he's gonna explain this to his monkey tribe culture
He's
when he goes back
guys,
home.
I have nothing to do with these guys. Trust me, the monkeys listen to the SchmoCast. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think that's relevant.
Thank you.
I did
Yes.
appreciate
No.
the tone change to a lighter
Yeah,
topic.
we had to do that because we're
We
talking
had-
about
we
like
had to
legit
get out of that.
issues. Yeah, all right.
Talking about
whatever.
legit
Monkey
issues.
culture.
What is this? Huh?
Yeah,
Some
okay,
action-
so
I feel like
basically-
I'd rather join wolf culture.
What do you think monkey culture is like though?
Or maybe like big cat. It's like a lion.
Why are we talking about monkey culture now?
I imagine
wanna talk about
monkey
monkey
culture.
monkey,
Transitioned there.
monkey
Okay.
culture is probably a
like-
lot like 2-year-old culture. Okay.
Explain. I want to hear this.
What do you mean? Explain. All
I
right.
wanna
What
hear
do
what your
what
thoughts
do
on monkey
what do
culture is.
2-year-olds do?
Oh, not
They
much.
chuck
They
their own
eat.
scat.
I
Yeah,
don't think
Yep.
that's a thing.
that's what they do. Yep.
That's the best way you could have phrased it, I think.
I don't think children do that.
You didn't do that when you were 2?
No.
I know.
2-year-olds do swing through
I'm sure
trees with
Josh
their
did.
tail.
Yes.
Yes. They also. I can't think of another monkey thing.
No, okay, but like, what about monkey
Eat
culture?
bananas.
What if monkeys had like this complete underground society, right? Like we talk about the mole people. What if it's just the monkeys? Right? Like these
Yeah.
these like
they're
primates
actually
in the
really
jungle
smart.
have like this secret underground government
Well, what about that?
with the apes and all of the other jungle creatures, and there's like a hierarchy that's not just the food chain. What am I talking about?
You know what? That
Where
reminds
are
me
you
of
Where
that.
am I going?
That
I'm
reminds
just, like,
me of that.
losing it. I'm like drifting off.
All right, let's.
Yeah.
We gotta
All right,
You know what
move
that?
on.
Whoa, hold on,
Reeling you
hold on,
back in.
guys.
Hold on,
Check
wait,
this
wait,
out.
wait,
Check this out.
What?
That reminds me of a movie. Movies. How about movies?
That's a
Movies.
topic
Let's
I'm willing to
talk
talk
about
about.
All
That
right.
was-
Yeah.
In
All
our
right.
original. Yeah.
What
Thank you.
movie are you talking about?
I don't know any of the Planet of the
Just
Ape ones.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're gonna say that. Speaking of monkeys,
Why are we still on monkeys?
Okay,
Movies
come on.
now.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
move
chill. Ben really
on.
does not want to talk about monkeys. Okay.
Cows?
Fine. All right, movies then.
Speaking of
It's
movies,
New Year.
cows.
We got a bunch of new
New
movies coming out.
movies.
What are you talking about?
What?
Whatever.
You said new movies, and
I
I
did say new
also said
movies.
new movies at like the
and
same
then
time.
I hear, what are you talking? Cows? What are
No,
cows?
I said new movies.
Movies.
What are you talking about?
I don't even know. Okay, back on track.
Well, the Lego
movies
movie.
coming out this year. Movies coming out this year. There's a new year. We got a bunch of new movies coming out. Do you want to talk about any of those? Any of the highlights that we're looking forward
We got
to?
Lego Movie
I'm
We got
looking
Lego
2.
Movie 2. That
I'm
came out
looking
this
forward
week.
Yo, killing
That
it
comes
with the
out today.
Legos.
Oh, it
Day
comes
of
out today?
recording.
Oh,
I think so.
dang.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Marvel movies coming out: Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame,
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man:
Look them
Far
up.
From Home.
Ooh, yeah.
There's some other ones too, but those are the.
You really had to
notable
look
ones.
them up?
Well, I just wanted to make sure I could get them.
I'm excited for these movies that I
I'm
know of.
excited for
Let me.
Let me look them up real quick. No, I knew there was a Spider-Man movie coming out. I just didn't know the name of it.
Oh, yeah, Far From Home. And that has Jake Gyllenhaal.
You're not that far. Just across the ocean.
That's pretty
in
far.
space.
He's in
You're not in
Spidey
space.
in space.
You're not in space.
How
That
does he-
wouldn't be the first
Wait,
time.
Not in
how does he
trailers.
get back on Earth?
Well,
Probably
listen.
He's not.
falls.
The fact that he's not in space helps. The fact that he's just on Earth.
Yeah.
He just slings a really long web.
Yeah.
I thought he died.
Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen that. Alright.
Gosh, everybody who cares about the Marvel movies has seen
Okay,
that
yeah,
at
you're
this
right.
point.
We're just like, no.
Oh wait, we just spoiled it for future generations listening to this. There's some 7-year-old kid in the year like
What?
2024. It's like, what?
No.
Spider-Man, he was my favorite. And you didn't know.
He didn't make
Yep,
it, kid.
That's
Sorry.
just the cruel reality of life. You
Sorry,
should have been
sorry,
born a
kid.
bit earlier. Sucks for you.
Yeah,
But
are there
yeah,
any
the
other
Marvel movies look
movies,
good.
non-Marvel?
Well, Star
anyone
Wars,
looking
the
forward
next
to?
one is coming out.
Hey.
And it's
What?
not gonna have
Star
a-
Wars? When's that? When's that
This is
coming out?
probably,
Summer,
probably
probably.
Christmas time.
They haven't even come up with
yeah.
a name for it yet. Like the
Oh.
Lucasfilm team has been like, you don't even
Who
know.
even? No,
It's-
nobody I even care about is still alive in those movies. I don't. Why would I go see them?
Oh, the Star Wars movies?
Yeah. Luke died.
R2D2's
Yeah,
alive.
that's what they do now. They kill off all the original characters and
Well,
introduce
yeah,
all
they're
the-
old.
Jar Jar
Exactly.
Binks.
Yeah, bring back
Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar, please.
Bring back
Pl-
George.
oh yeah, please.
Bar Jinx.
Yo, I think Snoke was Jar Jar and they just killed him off because they're like, oh, he's
Nah,
old.
that.
Get your conspiracy.
Yeah,
theories
that
out there.
conspiracy theory. Get that
No,
out of
I don't even know if I'm excited for that at this point. Honestly,
What?
they've given nothing on it.
You're
Nope.
It's like,
excited.
where are they
No.
gonna go for?
Listen, the last one I was like, okay.
Because Solo, like when Solo came out, I forgot Solo even came out.
Solo
mean,
wasn't.
I have
Solo.
not seen
Solo's
it.
a
I have
whole
not
separate
seen
thing,
it.
though.
No, Solo wasn't bad though.
Solo wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
Good
but,
movie,
like,
but I don't really.
I've not seen
didn't
it.
hear much about it.
That's how.
Josh doesn't
So
use-
far-
That's how non-mainstream
Yeah.
it was.
So far, I've liked.
Josh, that doesn't say much.
All right. Well.
What else haven't you seen? Have you seen Avengers: Infinity War?
Yeah. Of course
Yeah,
I just
have you caught up on all those Marvel movies you said
said
you
that
enjoyed?
I
My favorite movies that I haven't
caught
watched.
up on most of them. I think I still need to see Black Panther, and that's it.
What about Ant-Man and
Wakanda
Wasp?
Forever.
Netflix.
Yeah, I saw Ant-Man and Wasp recently.
Ah, nice.
Ant-Man and Wasp, I like. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars. Back on Star Wars, I just really, I don't know. Like it's just something about it. It's just like a different.
Recently,
I'm not one of those people who's gonna be like, oh, it's not like the
This is-
originals.
this
I don't
is
care about that.
trash.
I don't care.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
It's just that
accept
they're
it
not
for
as
its own
exciting.
thing.
yeah, recently I've liked the standalone kind of
Yeah.
separate story ones
Rogue
more.
One was
yeah,
really good.
Rogue One is my
Rogue
favorite.
One, Solo. I like Solo more than this last
I like
one
Solo
in the.
better than the
Yeah,
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like because going off of the original trilogy, I feel like the problem is that they're just like cranking them out. Like back in time, like we only had 3 Star Wars movies to begin with, like 3 years in between each. So you had to spend those 3 years being like, oh, is there gonna be a sequel? Like first Star Wars, oh, is there gonna be a sequel? And then when Empire comes out, like the universal fan favorite, like the one that you ask most people, they'll say that's their favorite one. People are like, what? All this stuff happened. They gotta finish it. And then they did finish it. And people thought that was it. Then come the prequels. And then between those, there's still years. There's like a bunch of years. Even though they weren't the best movies, people were still excited for them because there were only 3. They were only making 3 prequels. So there were only 3 things to look forward to.
Yeah.
And that's over the expanse of like many years. And in that same frame of time, we're going to be getting like 3 Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I was just
and not even the same frame.
I was
of
just
time.
thinking about that because like when we were looking at this stuff earlier, I was thinking, how is it that they have a Star Wars movie and then like a, what do you call it, a standalone, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
yeah.
A Star Wars story.
And it happens, it's every year or every other year. And I just thought, these people must be thinking, like, they must be writing the next episode, I guess you could say, as they're making that one.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
They probably have
So
like a
those
whole
would be two different
timeline.
teams. You'd have a writing team and
They're
a
not,
production team.
they're not leaving any time. Like, back then, they like really thought through this Star Wars stuff. Like, I read this book called How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, and it was about just kind of, you know, the story of Star Wars and how it was made and stuff. And the plot for the original Star Wars, they changed it so many times. Like, one of the earliest, what would you say, transcripts or
Yeah.
writings of
Yeah.
it was very remotely similar to the one now.
Yeah.
And the story just developed, you know? They had time to develop it. But now I feel like they're just kind of... It doesn't seem like...
I don't.
You know, like the 8th one just kind
Yeah.
of seemed like they were writing it on the spot to me.
They
Well,
lost like the luster.
No, I
they
think.
had.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because they're writing. They have to write so far ahead into the future to get it all to connect that like they don't have time to go back and change anything that might not be as strong or as interesting because they're too busy like being like, okay, we got this one out, now we got to go on to the next part of the story.
Yeah.
And if they can't change it at this point because that would mess up like all the ones
Yeah,
they've
exactly.
already come out. But I don't think it's like just the fact that they've been coming out with movies so quickly. At least,
It's just that they have a lot on their plate.
yeah,
Kind of.
yeah.
Too much
Because
going on.
yeah, like we said, the solo ones, they weren't bad, but they also didn't have to worry about connecting those to anything really because I mean they
Yeah,
all
it's
they had
not
to,
it's not necessarily in a series.
yeah, like they had to connect it to the main storyline, like the main lore, but that was already pre-existing.
Yeah.
They didn't have to.
They're
It's
not
just
having
like-
to
it's
create
like-
a new one.
Yeah, they
It's-
weren't connecting it to something they were still writing up.
It's just like, you like this guy? Well, we got more of this guy for you.
Yeah.
So that's just like all they have to do. It's not like it happens before anything else happened. Or like it happens whenever there is no specified timeline. So there's no errors in continuity here. We just have to make sure that at the end it connects to everything. And there you go. You got
Where,
a movie about your
as-
favorite Han Solo man and all of his friends.
Yeah,
that we
and
can
whereas with
think
these
nothing
ones,
about.
like the new ones, they're kind of, I feel like keeping, even though you kind of have an idea of where they're gonna go with the next one, they are kind of keeping it vague.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like you could never.
So
if you watch
they
the
would-
ending of the most recent one, episode, The Last Jedi, you'd never be able to be like, oh, well, this and this and this. Well, actually, I don't know. 'Cause
I
that
mean,
one kinda had a
that one
pretty lame
kind of, yeah, but like other than the fact that, I don't know how spoilery do we want to get here.
Well, I mean, it's been out for. 2
Yeah, okay,
years.
so, yeah. So other than the fact that like she met Luke, you didn't really like you had kind of an idea. Oh yeah, she's gonna get trained by him, but like that didn't happen.
Literally in the first
Yeah.
literally in the first 2 minutes of the movie, that's instantly like
Yeah.
out the window. You're like, what happened?
And
He
did that
chucks the lightsaber behind him.
yeah, did that ever happen? I thought she just like left, right? Like she didn't even do anything.
He kind of like told her is like, it's like dark force bad. Don't listen to mean man Kylo.
Yeah, you're too strong.
I
Get
was
out of
big
here.
old meanie pants at one point and tried to kill him.
Yeah, so they could have
And
gone.
therefore, I can no longer do Jedi.
Yeah,
things.
they could have gone so many different directions with like and the ending of any of their movies, and that's which is kind of like makes me feel like they're still writing it up.
And I feel
as
like
they-
another thing is that with Star Wars nowadays, there's definitely more like what are you doing over there? Elijah, what is he doing? Josh is doing something and we don't know, and I don't.
My mom asked me what I want for supper.
Oh, what did you say?
Humans.
I don't know.
Yeah, center that. That's what she says. Center that. Do it.
I don't think I should.
All right. Well, anyway, back on.
We have a
back
pretty
to the
small
story.
grill. All right. So what were
Okay,
you saying?
Back to the story. What were we saying? I was saying. Oh yeah. Like nowadays we have more of like. I feel like it's more commonplace for people to come up. Like the internet's a big thing now. Like in the early 2000s, whenever the prequels were being made, it was starting to come to fruition and people were able to discuss these things still. But nowadays, it's like everybody can go to the internet
Yeah.
and talk about this. So everybody was forming all of these like plans and what they had in mind. It's like, oh, they got to do this. Luke's going to be this awesome Jedi, and he's going to be training Rey, and it's going to be like all the other movies.
Also-
and Kylo's going to be giving more depth, and we'll see how powerful Snoke is. And then when they don't do that, everyone's like, well, what the heck?
Well, also, it's
like-
a lot easier to like for your average Joe to give input to the writers and for
Yeah.
them to see like what the public opinion is. Because back then, like, unless you're walking to the head studio or calling them up, like, they're not really gonna. I guess they could like ask around, like friends and family or whatever, people they know, but like basically the whole of everyone who has internet can communicate with the directors and tell them like what they want to see in the next movie, and that's probably influencing them. Because I heard one of the things I heard about this last one is it was basically like a fan service.
With Solo,
not
or
Solo,
Last Jedi.
the Last Jedi.
except it like didn't succeed in being that, because everybody's like, that's the worst Star Wars movie that's ever been made. Like, there's so many people. I don't know if it's just like the vocal minority or what it is, but like I've seen so many negative things about this. I came home from the theater initially being like, that was a pretty good Star Wars movie. It wasn't the worst Star Wars movie, but it wasn't the best Star Wars movie.
There's always gonna be people that are like, it's not the original, it's not the same.
But that's like the overbearing opinion that you hear off of everybody nowadays. And that's just the thing. I feel like Star Wars has just kind of lost its steam because they do it so much. But
Yeah,
I don't know. If they can hype me up before the next one, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not like.
I haven't seen
excited
anything
it
for the
at
next
this
one
point.
yet.
They haven't been advertising it. And usually at this point, they're at least doing teasers.
Yeah.
But they're saving everything, I guess.
It wasn't like a cliffhanger ending either, like last time.
No, it was just like it was like the worst. It was like the most mild of cliffhangers. Like, we're gonna fight. End credits. Oh, I guess they're gonna fight next movie.
Oh,
I guess there's
okay.
gonna be a showdown.
There's gonna be a
It's like,
fight.
there's no, like,
Oh, what a
Open
change!
questions anymore. I
Well,
guess.
a lot of it is just money, obviously.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people go to these. I mean, obviously, we're gonna go see the next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Even though we're sitting here complaining about it, we're gonna go. We're gonna go see it.
Yeah, you're not.
See if it
And-
gets any better.
That kind of goes into what Drew wanted to talk about with sequels and
Oh,
how they
yes.
always.
Oh,
This is making me
ah.
grumpy today. So anyway, I'm looking online for like movies we could talk about and stuff. Possibly I could bring up, and something that came up on like the feed of movies. It's just there's just such an overwhelming amount of sequel crap coming out. Like, for example, the one that really like ignited me to want to talk about this is the fact that looking at this, I saw 2 articles. So there's a movie coming out this summer that I'm actually kind of looking forward to called Detective Pikachu. It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon movie.
Oh, I did
Pokemon
see
movie.
something about
It's
that.
a Pokemon movie.
That's with
Ryan Reynolds
yeah,
voicing Pikachu.
That's his name. Yeah.
And everyone's just kind of like, oh, that's cool, but I don't know how it's gonna be. And already, like they've released like 2 trailers for the thing, and there's already not only a sequel for Detective Pikachu in the works, but there's also a standalone Pokemon movie in the works as well.
Yeah.
So, like, what the heck? How
That
are you
was-
going to gauge this? This movie hasn't come out.
That
It's
looked
a different
weird.
story if you can, like, make a sequel out of something that's come out. Then you can gauge, oh, are people going to want to watch this? No, they're already in production with these 2 sequels. And what if Detective Pikachu is absolutely just terrible? I don't think it's going to be terrible, but what if it is? Then what? That's money down the hole. That's just stupid. Like, people can wait a couple more years to see another Pokemon movie if they
Who is
really
that?
like it.
Who is that by? Or like?
It's Legendary. Like, that's
Okay.
I don't know who the director is.
Yeah,
but,
I don't
like,
know who makes.
Legendary is it. And there are like a bunch of other movies that are just getting sequels already. Like, well, the Lego movie got a sequel, but that was warranted because the Lego movie came out and it was a smash success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
sure,
it
they
was
were
years
working-
later too.
It was years later. and
Where's
they've
the
made
Emoji
other
Movie 2?
movies. I think that they're doing something like that. I
No.
thought, but I don't know. And then we have other things that are actually the right way to go and giving people what they want. So in 2016, they released that Ghostbusters that nobody liked, and now they announced that next year they're going to bring out Ghostbusters 3.
But that's not related to the newer one, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's related to the originals directly. So that's an example of being smart about it and not trying to jump the gun and make a sequel off of something that
Yeah.
you're assuming people are gonna like. Because we don't know. There hasn't been a really good video game movie, as far as I'm concerned, as of this point in time. Like,
Was,
do you guys have any examples?
I'm thinking of video game movies. There was that one where like aliens came back with giant robot versions of games we sent into space or something.
Pixels.
That got terrible reviews though.
Yeah, I'm just
I haven't
thinking.
seen that one. I wanna
Yeah,
see that
I haven't seen that
was
one.
Adam
I'm just
Sandler.
thinking of it. There was
There's a giant Pac-Man in that movie.
yeah,
too.
there was
I mean, it's good.
there was Ready Player One.
Pac-Man's also in
Oh,
Wreck-It
yeah.
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph is a good video game movie, but it's not like it's its own thing with like tributes to other video games that already
Yeah.
exist. It's not like Wreck-It Ralph was this character from the 80s that Disney is like, oh, we got to bring him back. People are gonna love it.
Wreck-It
What if
Ra-
it's their own character?
Wreck-It Ralph was Pixar, right?
Wreck-It Ralph was
No,
Disney.
it was just
that was
Disney.
Disney.
Okay.
Wait,
But
how was Rampage good? I haven't heard anything about
Oh.
Rampage.
Rampage is the only one that I could say is like, that's actually kind of good. Because it's the premise of the game is just run around as big old monsters and destroy stuff. And that's just perfect for an action movie like it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't think, I fell asleep during part of it, I think, but I've seen a good chunk of it.
Action movie. I fell asleep though.
I was tired, all right? I just turned it on before bed. I watched a bit of it. It was good from what I'd seen, and it looked kind of decent. It wasn't the best movie, obviously, but, anyway, back to the point at hand. Just making sequels before the original movie even comes out is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Yep.
Especially when there's 2 sequels lined up for this type of thing. Like Pokemon stuff. I'm sure people like Pokemon, but that doesn't mean Detective Pikachu is going to be a smash hit.
Yeah.
If the Assassin's Creed movie was good, I'm sure people would have loved it. If the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out years ago was a success, then that would have set the precedent. We need a good video game movie to bring stuff like that back. And I'm going off topic
Was the
again, so I'm going
Assassin's
to
Creed
recenter
movie
it.
not good?
The Assassin's Creed movie was mediocre at best,
I never
from
saw
what
that.
I'd heard. I haven't seen it, but I've heard nothing but like it was
Yeah.
more than that from it. But yeah, like I don't get the whole sequel thing. And that seems to be a lot of what they're doing nowadays. They're confirming sequels like well before they see the success of the
Well,
originals.
I mean, at this point, it's probably once you find an original idea, like at this point in the film industry or whatever, it's probably gonna be easier to just do that same idea, but with a slight because you can be like, okay, here's the main idea. Like for instance, Toy Story. Isn't that another movie that's coming out this year?
yeah.
Yeah, Toy Story. We got toys, but they're alive. All right, let's think of
Okay,
a
that's
story.
good.
Let's
That's
think of a
good.
story for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Write down the story.
What
Toy
about
Story 1
what
maybe.
about they meet new toys? They're gonna be replaced. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
But then somebody else is like, no, wait. I want the story to be their what was Toy Story 2 about? I forget.
It's like I don't even remember. I just remember.
They're valuable
I
toys
remember Stinky Pete. It's
that a
like you
collector
toys should be.
Oh yeah,
toys
yeah.
are meant to be played.
Yeah.
with,
No.
basically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want that to be about new toys. I want it to be about a toy collector comes and collects them, and then somebody else is like, wait, what if we made the story about them Andy growing up and giving his toys
to
away?
a daycare center.
They can do all of those with sequels,
and get this.
they did.
At this daycare, there is a bear that smells like strawberries. We got to make this movie, guys. That's the pitch.
Yeah.
That's gonna sell
But
like
yeah,
hotcakes.
you can
I mean, come on.
you can come up with one original. You can either come up with a bunch of different movies using a bunch of different original ideas, or you can go with a bunch of sequels using one idea and just whatever storyline you want to go off that idea with.
It's just risk. People don't want to take the risk anymore. It's just like no. That's why we aren't seeing like. That's why there's a billion reboots happening recently. Like this year alone, like we have Child's Play is coming out. The horror movie
Is
Chucky
Lions
doll.
King or
Lion King is coming
Lions
What's it called?
out. Lion King.
The Lions,
Lion
the,
King.
the Lions King.
And there's like, I heard somewhere going back to sequels that the Halloween that came out last year that was supposed to be, I think, the definitive Halloween. I unfortunately haven't seen it yet. I really want to. They're making a sequel to
haven't seen
that.
it? Yeah, I thought that was they were going back to canon, right? They were being like, this is the one.
Yeah,
this
this is the one to end it all. This is the last time we're gonna see Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode and her last encounter with Michael. Okay, that's a good ending to the series. But wait, there's more.
Oh,
We got more money.
he
on the
found
line.
out Lori was actually related to. She had a distant relative, Tori. Now he's gonna go after her.
Tori Strode, Halloween 2. No, but then also the one that really I don't get is they're making A Quiet Place 2.
Oh, really?
It's like everyone.
that-
Ben likes A Quiet Place. I wasn't a huge
Did you
fan.
see that?
I did see
I
A
think
Quiet
that in a
Place.
couple of
Did you?
I never saw it.
It's
I
a
haven't
good
seen
one.
any
It's
a
horror
good one.
movies ever.
I feel like in a couple
Rip.
of years, just like it's not going to be one of those movies that stands out as like one of the horror greats, and yet they're making a sequel. Of
It was from what I've heard, it wasn't like bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was a horror movie. It wasn't anything like wow, that was wow.
Mwah.
Is that John Krasinski again? Is he writing?
I
it
don't know if
again?
he's writing and directing it, but I just heard they were making a sequel, so I can only assume that he has something to
Well,
do with
there's
it
only
because
like
that's
one
his
alien
creation,
left,
isn't it?
though. They just gotta. Oh well.
No,
Can I
there isn't
spoil
one
this one?
alien left.
Yeah, there was only like 3 of them.
What?
I guess there's 2.
No.
left.
What did you watch the movie,
I
Ben?
saw the movie.
You're thinking
were
of
3.
aliens?
There was that whole herd of them.
There's just 2, Drew.
Anyway,
Guys, I haven't seen the movie.
I need to
don't know what
rewatch
you're
it
talking
then
I
because
think-
I'm pretty sure there was like I think the whole thing was like there's a whole herd of them coming, but
I thought
I
it
don't
just showed the
get.
2. Oh.
I can't.
Have you seen A Quiet Place, John? Are you living a quiet place
Never
right
heard
now?
of it.
Josh hasn't. That's the thing. Poor Josh. We're just sitting here talking about movies.
I
Josh, you
know
gotta come
nothing
see
about
movies. You gotta see some movies, man, because we all know about and like to talk about movies. We gotta go see some movies. That's something that we plan on doing in the future. Is we're gonna review movies on the SchmoCast.
Yeah, contact
That'd be
Drew if
cool.
you want to come with us. Here's his number.
Don't do that. Don't do
1, 2,
that.
3,
Don't contact me.
4, 5, 6,
Why?
7, 8, 9,
Josh, shut up.
0.
Josh, shut your mouth.
What was that?
Definitely not my phone number. That's what it was. My phone number is what it wasn't. But anyway, movies.
Ben's actually confused by this.
we were like,
What?
I like zoned out for 2
But,
seconds and I come back and
What?
Josh is listing numbers. And Drew
Yeah.
gets all defensive.
But anyway, yeah,
Sorry.
movie sequels are just like we need some good original stuff coming out, and nobody wants to do that. Everyone's just like
Frozen 2.
everyone's coming off of nostalgia. Well, Frozen 2 makes sense. I
it?
don't think that they should make a sequel, but looking at the money that movie made, they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
make
they
a
were
sequel.
they were writing that one for.
They're
like,
not running on nostalgia here. They're like that's what most of these sequels do.
Yeah.
Is that like they're like remember X thing from your childhood? Well, it's back and in
Oh.
HD. That's all it is. That's all that sequels are. And sometimes they're just really bad. Most of the time, they're really bad. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. We can talk more about stuff like that in the future.
that was
but
probably like
That was
1,000 cents.
yeah, that was like 1,000 cents. I really broke bank on that one.
$10.
But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on movies. Any good movies coming up this year? Do you guys have any like most anticipated movies to wrap up this topic? Because I know mine. I have 2 that I'm really looking forward to this year.
Which is the first Marvel movie that's coming out?
Captain Marvel.
Well, I
This
guess
was the
that's
second
my
one.
most anticipated one.
No. Throughout the whole year, what's the movie you're looking most forward to? It doesn't have to be the first one coming up.
I want to see how they resolve Avengers
Yeah.
That'll
Endgame.
be neat.
Is that
That'll
your-
be neat at the least. That'll be pretty neat,
That'll
I
be
think.
pretty cool.
That'll be pretty.
Wait, now is that
That'd be pretty
Joker
neato.
movie coming out this year?
Joker is coming out this year.
What?
Is there anything about that out there? I've seen
They've
these things that I
released like
thought were
screenshots
trailers.
of it.
Yeah, like it poses it like it's some sort of teaser trailer, and
This
then
is
you watch it.
DC.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
Joker's
don't even
DC.
know what it
Joker's
is.
DC.
I mean, I know he's DC, but I didn't know like Joker.
Like this
Yeah, Joker's
movie is
DC.
so strange. I can't tell what it is.
Don't do that. Josh is going towards the mic. The guys, they love to do that. They love to get close to the mic. I mean, we all do, but we got to resist the urge to get close to the mic. It's like hungry hippos. You're all just coming in like towards whatever. Anyway, back to movies. So Infinity War, and then Ben, would you say Joker's your most
Well,
anticipated, or
I
Star
wouldn't say
Wars?
that's my most anticipated.
Star
Star Wars probably is,
Wars.
but the Joker one, I'm really curious about that because I just can't tell. I can't tell what that is.
Wait, what were you gonna say? I can cut this out. What?
Can you mute my mic real quick?
Why? Just do. Are you gonna burp?
No, I gotta wipe off.
No, it doesn't matter. I might leave this in. Actually, that's kind of funny. Okay. Well, Josh, you said yours is Avengers, right? You said that earlier, something like that.
I mean, I didn't say that, but it
Well,
probably is.
You kind of said
I
something
mean, I'm
like
just looking forward to
I'm looking
the
Of the
upcoming Marvel movies.
of the
I don't
2
really have
movies
one.
Josh is gonna see this year.
3.
No, you'll have to catch up on the 3rd one. You aren't only
Yeah,
gonna see
no.
2.
No, I'm gonna.
Actually,
because I also have to catch up on Black Panther.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
That's on
You're
Netflix.
already behind. Okay.
All right, here, let me catch you up. There's a guy named Black Panther.
whoa.
He's
That's
the
his
king
name.
of Wakanda.
Well, hold on.
Wakanda forever.
Know that?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All you need. That's all you need to know, at
Yeah.
least, I think.
Okay, so there are a lot of good movies coming out this year. Now I think about it, it's hard to decide. I
Hot
had
Wheels.
2 originally. Hot
What?
Wheels.
That's a
That's
movie?
right. We'll talk about
Was that this year?
That's this year. I think that they're started producing it this year. They're making all these movies off of kids' toys too. I wanted to talk about that a little bit.
My
I'll keep it
Little
short.
Pony.
Yeah, well, that's been around. That's been
Yeah,
a
I
thing.
bet you would know about
No,
that.
Lego. We've already discussed this. I don't care. Like,
Call
that's
back.
just a part that I don't care about. That part of my life I'm not ashamed of. I'm not
You're
like.
not ashamed of that?
I'm not ashamed of it. It's like, why be ashamed of it? What's the point? Then people just have leverage to be like, oh, you like My Little Pony. If you just accept that, it's just like,
Oh,
whatever.
you like My Little
Anyway, Lego movie came out and all these other things wanted to make movies. It's just a mess. That's all I really had to say about that. Anyway, I have 3. Whatever. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. It's like we all have ADHD or something.
Let's get to a topic that I know
but-
things about.
Okay, hold on.
Like
but
improv stories.
I really
Like,
like. There are 3 movies I'm really looking forward to this year. Number 1, Godzilla King of Monsters. Love Godzilla, always have.
yeah. Nerd.
Next one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's next movie looks
What?
really good.
What? What even is that?
It's about the Manson murders.
I don't know anything about that.
All right. Well, anyway, then the 3rd one is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark from Guillermo del Toro, which looks really good. Is that Barry?
I was Barry.
Is that our friend Barry? Wait, should I go get Barry?
No, it's too late.
Well, that was Barry. Everybody
Barry's gone.
didn't hear him or see him, but he was
Make sure you
there.
listen to his radio station. What's it called, Josh? Turn around.
We can't say that on here. Not everybody can listen to the radio station if they're listening on YouTube.
Hey, if
Yeah,
they're
'cause,
listening to the radio station on this, what?
All right,
No, I'm not gonna
Is
put this
this-
clip in here. Never
That was
mind.
Barry.
That was Barry. We might have him on
you,
sometime,
Barry.
maybe. But all right, that's enough about movies. I guess those are my 3 most, and we all have our most
That's enough
anticipated.
about movies.
All right, Ben, you want to wrap this up with a short improv thing, really quick, just to get back into the good old times of the schmo?
Speaking
We
of
have time. We can
nostalgia.
run a bit longer.
Talk about
Just
I'm gonna make Joshy the main character.
All right. Well.
You guys-
all right. So you
Josh
you
Bolt.
have. Stop shifting the table.
All right.
Here
Here you go.
me just
Ready?
talk about
All right.
Sharon.
All right. Shh, shh. All right. Ben's gonna start. Here we go.
That was the transition.
Okay.
rough.
The theme is Western.
All right.
Go on.
I've watched a lot of
Go on.
Western movies recently.
The
Yeah.
theme is Western.
All right.
Cowboy Josh was a stranger in the town of Easy-E,
Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum.
and the 2 thugs, Drew Dad and Eli Hill,
What?
were their
The
names.
town of Easy, but his name is Eli.
Eli Hill and Drew Dad.
Eli
He
Hole.
used Easy E too early.
What was my name?
Easy-E is the name of the town. Cowboy Josh.
Ah, yeah, that's it.
What
He was a stranger.
So we're the thugs.
And Drew Dad and Eli were really skeptical of this Josh boy.
I don't know too much about this Josh boy coming into our town.
Yeah, he seems like a goody two shoes.
Yeah, he comes up here and he just is all like, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "Shut up, Josh." You know,
Cowboy
you know how
Josh.
it is whenever he walks into the saloon every Sunday afternoon, whenever we're sipping
Oh.
sarsaparilla. He comes in the doors. He's like, "Hey guys," and he comes over and asks us how our day is. Man, I don't want to tell you about my day. I want to drink.
Yeah, I
you
know what you're
you
talking
feel me?
about.
What's his name? Eliho. Eliho.
Eli.
Eliho.
Wow.
You feel me, Eliho?
Yeah.
You
It
feel
was
what
at
I'm
that
saying?
moment
Dad.
You
that
see it?
Cowboy Josh walked into the saloon that Eliel and Drew Dad were both sipping sarsaparillas at.
That's the door cooking.
Hey guys, you have a good day?
Man, shut up.
What are you doing? All right, I've had enough of this. I'm gonna stand up.
Drew Dad and Eliel had enough of this.
You can.
I also had enough of this.
He said
That's
that.
Eliel.
We know, Eliel.
Now, the
you
thing
already
of-
established that.
The thing about Cowboy Josh was, on the outside, he seemed like a real nice guy, but deep down, he was belligerent. He was a savage, one might have said. And it was at that point he pulled out 2 pistols, one from each side, and he held them up to Eliel and Drew Dad, and here's what he said.
Now y'all best better tell me where they're storing the root beer.
Well, I don't know what we expected. from this situation.
Drew Dad and Eli were terrified.
I'm not
Were we,
sure.
though?
I'm not sure what
They
kind of
were,
saloon.
yes. This is how it works, guys. Drew Dad and Eli were terrified.
Now listen
were
here,
sitting at the
mister.
bar.
I'm not sure what kind of saloon you think this is, but they ain't got no root beer around these parts.
Eli lied to Cowboy Josh. He was afraid of losing his precious root beer.
What do you mean you don't got any root beer?
Josh could clearly see a jug of root beer sitting across from Drew Dad.
You got some root beer right there.
Then why you asking us, huh?
Root beer with big old letters. Oh, what are you talking about? That ain't no root beer.
Where's this root beer on
Just
it?
because it says root beer on it doesn't mean it's root beer.
Well, it probably does.
Well, look who's being presumptuous. That ain't root
Cowboy
beer.
Josh pretended like he didn't know what presumptuous meant,
I don't know what that means.
but he actually did.
I actually do.
Well, basically, you're presuming that there is root beer in that can labeled root beer, when there is in fact not root beer
Well, why
in
don't
that
you
can.
prove it?
Well, why don't you go take a look for yourself?
Well, I will go take a look for myself.
Cowboy
Alright.
Josh went and took a look for himself, and there was root beer in the jug.
What's got
So
root
he
beer
shot
in
Drew
here?
Dad in the head.
What?
The bartender was scared out of his mind, so he
Die
said,
in these.
Drew's the bartender.
Oh. Hey.
He was surprised.
What was she? What in tarnation? That's obnoxious. Hold on a second. What in tarnation's going on in my bar? What are you doing?
I'm just trying to find where they keep all the root
You
beer
shot my
at.
patron Drew Dad right in his daggone
Lying to
noggin.
me.
So what is lying to you?
He told me there wasn't no root beer in this jug. Look, it's root beer in here.
Why don't you just drink the root beer then?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Why'd you shoot him then? What'd you shoot him for?
Trying to find the rest of the root beer.
You see that lie? What do you think? Your friend's dead.
I'm not sure why he thought he'd find the rest of the root beer in my friend's head, but he did shoot him. I seen it with my own eyes.
Cowboy Josh had enough. Had enough of the bartender and Eli. So he pulled out his guns again and held them right up to their faces.
How are your arms that long, son? You're standing 10 feet away.
I've been drinking root beer since before I was born.
But that doesn't
That
grant you
gives you-
elasticity.
The root in root beer is like a tree root, and my arms grew out like tree roots.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's the Wild West. There's no rules out here.
Even
man.
I've
Root
been-
beer you've been drinking.
That one right over there that you shot Drew Dad in the head for.
And with that, Cowboy Josh shot them both in the head at the same time, without a chance for them to even pull out their own pistols. He sat down at the bar and he drank all the root beer they had. The beginning of a legacy.
Oh no. Did you
Wow.
leave it on a cliffhanger?
What a
Not
cliffhanger.
necessarily.
I
Not
knew that
necessarily.
one.
That was an interesting
Be
story.
sure to catch next time and find what Josh's plan was with that root beer.
Short and sweet, like root beer.
Like root beer.
Root beer is short?
Hey, listen, just focus on the second part.
The root beer was short in that.
He used a small glass, so
I guess.
He didn't
Nah, it
drink
was
it
a-
tall.
yeah,
It was a bowl.
exactly.
Glass, but it was a glass.
Yeah, Cowboy Josh. I don't know about that Cowboy Josh. But
I don't know. You still have
all
to-
right, I guess we'll have to catch him on his antics some
next
other
time.
time. Well, that was this episode of the SchmoCast, guys. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week at a different time and in a different location, actually, because we're gonna hopefully be moving out to our schmoffice, and we'll talk more about that on the next episode. And also, we're planning on moving the date of the uploads from Mondays to Thursdays. So look forward to that.
That's been going so well so far.
because that'll happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next time on the new date, and hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, you guys have any last words?
That was
Yeah,
a
we
nice
love-
extra, Drew.
that
We
was
love
Very
feedback.
nice.
Thank you.
We
Thank
love
you.
feedback.
Yeah.
No, why are you always complimenting his outros, huh? It was a mediocre outro. He said, "See you next time."
Thanks,
SchmoCast.
Josh. All right. I don't have a word.